That's Kiwi pop duo Foley, who are on their way to Texas to perform at South by Southwest. We caught up with Gabe Everett just before liftoff. Ooh, South by Southwest, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be great fun. Really looking forward to it.
Have you been there before?
Nah, never. This is going to be the first time, well, actually the first time we do a show overseas.
Really?
So, yeah,
So,
it's going to be great.
how are you preparing for that?
Everything. We're doing whole bunch of rehearsals, obviously, for the live stuff.
Yeah.
And then we've got our label over there pitching out to a bunch of other people and figuring out, I don't know, best people to meet, booking
Right.
meetings.
A lot of schmoozing.
Oh, we're schmoozing, yeah.
Yeah, very good. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're with Network Records, is that right?
Correct. Yeah,
They're a pretty big label. How'd that happen for you?
They actually reached out to us after, I think it was after our first EP in 2020, and they really liked what we were doing, and they sent through, an offer, and we actually just sort of decided that we would prefer to release the next EP independently again.
Right.
And then after that one, we sent them some more songs, and they were like, we need to have this, like, essentially, like, how can we be your label? And then we got chatting and figured that all out, and yeah, they're incredible. We love them.
Okay, so that's how you got together with Network. How did you get together with each other? What brought you together musically, you and Ash?
Oh, both of us. Well, we've been, I guess, musicians for a long time, and coming up through high school and sort of learning music and being around other musicians and going to shows and things. And we met. No, it was like probably about a decade ago. We were rehearsing in the same space, and we sort of became this big group of friends between the two bands that we were in at the time. And then after those two bands sort of split up after high school, and people started going their separate ways, Ash and I, being the lead songwriters of both of the bands, decided that we should try work together and try and write some pop music, because at the time we were really sort of interested and like challenged by it. Like, we were like, oh, like, I reckon this would be really interesting to write. Like, how do we condense like our emotions and our like experiences down into like a pop song,
Right.
into like the chorus, verse, like structure? How do we do that? And so we went on this big journey of experimentation and did a lot of writing together, and yeah, rest is history.
Cool. So now you've just released a kind of a half an album called Crowd Pleaser Part 1. What's the thought process that went behind doing it like that?
Yeah, well, we there's a few different reasons. We firstly, like, all these songs that are on part 1 feel really cohesive together. And there's a common thread across the whole album, because there will be a part 2 and there will be more songs on this project. But I feel like we wanted to contextualize these songs together, just again because they sound great together. They feel like they have a similar thread running through them, and also there's this other interesting thing that we were thinking about, which is like, people will be experiencing these songs now in whatever season they're in, whether that's winter or summer, winter northern hemisphere, summer southern hemisphere, and then they'll get to experience them again in a different season, along with all the other songs. So I don't know, there's a bit of like environment, like atmosphere shift that I think the album will go through, because we've decided to split it in two. So I don't know, it was just an interesting experiment, really.
Okay, that's cool. So recording wise, so you have a producer, Harry Charles, who looks like he's worked with you on most of the tracks here. So what is the process like for you making these songs?
Yeah. Well, Harry's a great producer that we work with a lot. We've also worked with Josh Nailey on this side of the record as well as a producer, and all the vocals as well are produced by Josh Edmonds, who is another long-term collaborator for us. So usually, I mean, every song's different, but for the Foley sort of workflow for this album was to try and experiment as much as possible and really throw everything at the walls and see what stuck. So we really went into this process trying to push the boundaries and trying to do things wrong and to feel out where the next stage of our sound was, because
Right.
through the previous EPs we'd kind of perfected the pop sound or the chic that we'd got going on. So really wanted to branch out, and so in all these sessions, like with Harry, whether it's with Josh or anyone else, like we get in there, we chat about the song that we want to write that day, we listen to references, we are really just picking any inspiration that we can, we're diving down every rabbit hole, we are like trying to cram as much emotion into all of the production layers as we can, like just really trying to hone in. So yeah, it's super exciting, it's really fun.
So you talk about you're pushing the envelope and trying out new things. Give me, if you can, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, a specific instance in one of the 5 tracks where that happens for you.
Yeah, well, I think this is on the spot, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry about that. Anytime
Yeah,
somebody says I don't want to do something, it means they really are doing that to you. So.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember because we've written a lot of songs for this record.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to think if this is actually part of the thing. There's for the track Nothing.
Right.
That was a really sort of envelope pushing one, but not in the way that I think I just described. It was more like an emotional envelope pushing.
Pick it up if you want it. When it turns to dust, I've given all my love for nothing. Pick it up if you want it to. When it turns to dust, I've given all my love for nothing.
We were really digging quite deep on sort of friendship and failed relationships and things, not getting closure from different people, and we wanted to push the envelope on that song by having me doing the lead vocals on it, on the second half, because usually all Foley songs are both of our perspectives and both of our emotions and both of our sort of stories to tell,
right.
But in this case, Ash and I had separate experiences with the same topic and wanted to, I don't know, just lend both of our voices to the track and have a moment of like rawness and emotion from both of us. And I think it's the first time it really clicked, after a lot of experimentation with my voice. But that's probably one example.
Okay. All right. I know you've released a few videos and people have commented on your wardrobe in these videos and stuff. Yeah. It's very relevant here. So how much input do you have as far as the visual presentation of Foley?
Smooth it over, baby, with the conversation. You had your reservation. You seem so afraid of confrontation. Don't think I can take it. What's the hesitation? Feeling like we're ready for some honesty. I like it when you say it.
I mean, we're across everything at this stage, and what we wanted to do at the start is to have a really clear sort of guideline on what Foley meant. We didn't want it to be just Ash and Gabe.
Right.
We want ourselves to be a collective, or portrayed more as a collective, more as a duo, more as like a singular organism.
Yep.
And so we got together and we drafted this big creative document on all the themes and all the ways that we wanted to portray ourselves. And what we do in songwriting, little tangent, is obviously we're avid collaborators. We bring a lot of people on board. We write with a lot of people to bring their expertise into the music, and that's something that we really love doing. So we wanted to try and do the same thing for all the creative and for all of the visuals. So we've got this big document of themes and stuff, and we give that to the director, the stylist, the makeup artist, along with references, vague references of what we want to look like, how we want to be perceived, and they interpret it how they like. and that almost becomes part of the Foley universe, you know. So they're as much a part of the ethos and the brand and the community as we are. So, you know, for example, the coffee video, which was directed by Tom Grew,
Right.
He sort of clicked immediately on what that song was about and what that song needed energy wise, and so all of his shot lists and stuff really reflects back on the theme of the song and reflects back on what we wanted to come across as.
I've got a copy, but it's cold. I think it's my time to go lay down. Gotta lay down. I've got a copy, but it's cold. I think it's my time to go lay down. Gotta lay down.
So I think everyone's done an amazing job so far of like figuring out where we sit, and obviously Ash and I we're able to veto things if we don't like them, but
Yep.
we're definitely like, you know, at a point where we feel like the Foley experience or the brand or the universe has just been building throughout this album,
Right.
and we've got a few more things to show everyone else for the next half, so can't wait for
All right.
that.
Well, speaking of collaborating and the coffee track and the video, I see you have Tim Atlas on that track as well. So how did that come about? How did you get him in? Is he a guy that you've been wanting to work with, or?
Yeah. I mean, Ash and I have both been fans of his for a long time. We met in LA at the end of last year, very briefly after a show of his, and he's also signed to Network. So we met him through our label and had a chat. And when we'd written Coffee, we always knew that we wanted a male feature on the song. You know, we wanted to try experiment with that, and so we just sent him the track. He really loved it, and as I was saying about Tom, he immediately sort of knew what the song was about, what the themes were, what the energy needed, and sent over a couple of ideas, just riffing. And actually, I think it was the very first idea that we ended up going with, and then he expanded it out for the second half of his verse. But yeah, he's been a dream to work with. He's an incredible musician. The harmonies he's put on that track is unreal. So yeah, I don't know, it was pretty magical, and we can't wait to link up with him again.
Okay. So you're on the verge of heading overseas, doing the thing. What do you hope to accomplish from all that? Where do you want to be in like 6 months from now after going through this process? Is the album going to be out in full? Are you going to be superstars? You know, what's happening?
Honestly, yeah, I mean, it's impossible to plan these things, especially post-COVID, you know. But in 6 months' time, we should have the album out, and we should have given people the full story of Crowd Pleaser and that's about, and what the Foley universe and things are for this phase. And I won't spoil anything yet, but you know, I think a lot of it has to do with how audiences hear and react to the music, and what people are going through at the time when they listen to it, and how we can soundtrack those moments. And I think hopefully we can be at a stage where we're performing these songs live, we're reimagining things, we are seeing how the audience reacts, and we're really just showing what we've got to the world, and letting people have a great time to the music, because that's what we wrote it for.
Cool. All righty. Well, have a good time in Austin. South by Southwest is always fun. I'm sure you'll meet and be inspired. I've been several times, but a long time ago. I think the first one I went to was like the third one they had, which was in like 1990 or something. So
oh, no way.
Nobody even knew what it was back then. But yeah, but it's good fun, and Austin's a great town, so you'll enjoy yourself. All righty. Well, thank you for talking to me, and good luck with everything.
Thank you, Marty. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
See ya.